we're going to add flare to our sewing pattern. So we've got our skirt here. This is our centre front skirt. First thing we're going to do is we are going to extend the dart right the way to the hemline. So I've drawn a line all the way to the hemline. That's the first thing we're going to do. And then from the hemline, we're going to cut up to the dart point, which is just here. So this is the slash and spread technique. So I've cut up to the dart point, and then I'm going to close the dart. And when I close the dart, it creates flare. So if I open the dart and if I close the dart, it creates flare towards the side of the skirt. So what if I wanted to add more flare? I'm just going to take my skirt down at the centre front here. So if I wanted to add more flare, this time, because my first dart would technically be closed, I would then need to create some slash and spread lines after the dart. So let's do that. So I'm going to open the dart back. And what I've decided to do is I have measured from the centre of the dart out to the waistline, and then I've divided it in half. And I've done the same at the hem. So I'm going to draw another line. So this is going to be an extra line here. If I had a second dart, I would do the exact same thing as I've done just before. And to work out how much flare I want, I'm going to close my first dart, and then I can see the flare, and I'm going to take that one closed. I'm going to measure the distance in between the flare, because that's the distance that I'm going to tell myself I want the second piece of flare to be, 3 centimetres. So now I know the distance between this point and this point is 3 centimetres. So that's how wide my first flare is on my skirt. And I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath. I'm going to tape it down. The purpose here is to distribute the flare so that the flare looks equal on equal amounts of the skirt, and it also gives more flare as well. So I've got quite a lot of extra paper. I'm just going to remove some of that. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, but this time I am going to open from the hem the paper. So I'm probably going to cut maybe 0.5 centimetre just before the edge of the paper. So it's cut up to but not through. And if we see that just here, just make sure I've cut the paper correctly. You can now see that my skirt is now starting to open. What it does, though, it makes the waistband more curved. But then if you think the side towards the side of the waistband, it's going around the side of the body, so it's naturally going to be curved anyway. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to put another sheet of paper underneath, because I need to make sure that I stick my first piece down and then I open this hem 3 centimetres. That way, each of the openings on my slash and spread will be exactly the same. And I'm going to measure 3 centimetres from the last line that I cut, which is there. I'm going to open my skirt 3 centimeters, and I'm going to put a piece of tape to anchor it in place, and then I'm going to tape the other side down. Last thing to do is, we talked about being able to true the lines, so I need to close the position of all these lines at the bottom of the hem, and I'm going to use my curved ruler again. And there we have it. That's a flared skirt. I'm going to have a look at all 3 skirts with the different types of flare. So we've got the first one, which has got a slight amount of flare, but it's got more of a curved hem. Got the second one, which has got a little bit more flare. And then we've got the third one, which you can see has got more flare.